Hi, I'm Francis, the host of this show, Cooking with the Dog.
こんにちは。今日はわかめサラダとこれに合う和風ドレッシングを作ります。
First, rinse the salted wakame seaweed in a large bowl or under running water. Squeeze and place the wakame into another bowl of water.
2、3分水につけて塩抜きをします。長時間つけると柔らかくなりすぎるので気をつけてください。
Now, squeeze the wakame and blanch it in a pot of boiling water. Remove and pour cold water over it. Squeeze out the excess water. Then, cut the wakame seaweed into bite-sized pieces. Now, let's make the dressing. Combine the soy sauce, vinegar, Dashi Stock, and the sugar. Dissolve it thoroughly. Then, add the olive oil and grated ginger root. Mix the dressing thoroughly. And now, cut the Mizuna Greens into 5 cm or 2 inch pieces. Place the greens into a bowl. Cut the cherry tomatoes in half. Shred the Daikon Radish with a slicer. Likewise, shred the carrot. Add the daikon and carrot to the bowl. With the kitchen chopsticks, mix it evenly. Then, place the vegetables into a bowl. Place the wakame seaweed on top. Garnish with a bit of the vegetables. Now, lightly grind the toasted sesame seeds. Sprinkle the sesame on the salad. Garnish with the tomato and the Kaiware radish sprouts or garden cress. Finally, mix the dressing again. And then pour it over the wakame salad. You can use your favorite raw vegetables. For example, lettuce leaves, baby salad greens, cucumber or sprouts are great. The dried seaweed mix, cut wakame or plantain can be also used.
海藻と野菜をたっぷり摂ると体の中からきれいになる気がします。皆さんもどうぞ。
You can also add a small portion of grated garlic to the dressing to taste. Good luck in the kitchen!